$200. There's a $2,500 general admission, and then there's a $100,000 VIP.
I don't know, man. Is that like you went to the last one, right?
Yeah.
And what was that like?
Honestly, if I didn't like go out of my fucking way and like finesse meeting Trump, it would have been completely not worth it.
You reckon you'll be able to finesse it again?
Dude, it's in 2 days though. This is the problem. It's in 2 fucking days. I don't think I want to make it.
I mean, if you're trying to claim to be, you know, one of the biggest guys in crypto, you kind of got to be there, right?
Fuck, dude. Fuck. Brutal. That is so brutal. 100K in 2 days.
It's not really good for your rep. No go. I don't think.
Bro, do not do this to me. That's crazy. Whatever. I'll figure it out. But hey, all-time high on our agent coins. How are you feeling?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, did I lose you?
For a second.
Cool.
AI agent, man. What a fucking few days.
Insane.
Yeah. I kind of it was bad on Monday. I arrived in London actually. And I do that other show on a Monday, the Invest Answers show, DCA. And as that show was happening, like all the AI agent bags were just like plummeting. You know, like I think it hit like 11. And I've been on that show, and remember I came on this stream before, and I told you like they'd all got involved in these coins. So I'm having to defend these coins, and as my net worth is like fucking plummets. And I had food poisoning at the time, so like, but then I woke up like 6 hours later, and everything had rebounded. I don't know. Everything has rebounded super strong. It's weird to see that like the strongest coin seems to now be AI XBT, right? And this kind of narrative that they can do something with it. And some of the weaker ones have been the marketplaces, right? Like Virtuals and AI16Z, they feel, well, AI16Z kind of on its road to be a marketplace doesn't feel as strong, and it's more like people like the more tangible utility, and they're like, well, AI XBT might be able to deliver that. This is kind of what I went back to when I said last time. Like, obviously, my first call was again to go, and then I just kind of spread it around. And I haven't been great at calling like, oh, we're now going to move from agents to applications to, yeah, I got involved in some of this AI or DeFi, whatever you want to call it, but I haven't been good at that game of like calling which sector to like move it all to. But AIXBT does feel super strong right now.
Man, that coin is unreal.
Yeah, like I caught it on that Monday, because what I said to myself is whenever those ETH coins drop, right, because that's like the only coins. The issue about the Solana coins often is that like when one of them runs, you just know that like people sell to go into the other coin. There's so much like swapping to the next one, whereas there's only really like 3 or 4 winners on ETH, right? There's only like Virtuals, AIXPT, Fraser, and yeah, maybe some of the smaller ones like Data or something like that. But it just felt like that was going to be a good risk reward, and I called that trade quite well. But I don't know. Sometimes when you actually deliver the actual product, it's bearish, but there's still like a lot of like hopium that this is going to be something crazy and all that sort of stuff. I like the interview with Rao yesterday.
I was just about to say.
Caught the second half of it.
I like him, dude. I like him. He's fun.
Yeah, man.
He's all, but he's wrong, by the way, on this AI stuff. Completely wrong.
I did a show with him on a Friday, right? And honestly, and he'll be fine with me saying this, I have been surprised that he doesn't like this space. Because he's like really, really, really into AI and has been like way ahead. Been talking about AI and how all this stuff's going to change the world well ahead of when it was like super interesting, particularly to me. And the fact that he's like so disparaging of all this stuff, I think it does interest me. because like normally he does like a good narrative. So like he liked NFTs, he liked the metaverse, he liked meme coins, but then it's been like really like, well, no, this stuff's not the thing.
For the record, I think I figured out why he hates AI coins.
He didn't get in.
Well, two reasons. One, he's not, and I understandably so, he's not in the trenches. Like he only sort of knows Go, Fartcoin, and Cerebro because everybody knows Cerebro. And I didn't understand this, but the second we got off the stream, he posted a screenshot of his replies, and it was it was three of the bullshit, like this annoying ass chatbots that we block. And he's like, I told you guys, like, AI, crypto, it's all just slop rappers. And I'm like, no, bro, like, those aren't the AI that we're talking about. And I think that he's looking at his, like, replies, and he's like, this is AI crypto, because all he knows is Go and Fartcoin, and then his Twitter replies. And I think that there's just like he like sees that and he gets angry about it the same way that we see it and we get angry about it. And I think it's just like he isn't as deep as he needs to be yet. But you know what the real takeaway from the Raul interview is again, like peak 2024 when WIF is at 3-4 billion, when Pepe was at 7, 8, 9, 10. And Bog was at, broke $1 billion. I sort of felt like, fuck, who is left to buy my Murad coins? Like, who's the greater fool here? There's nobody left. Everyone has bought them. The normies aren't coming in. TikTok doesn't care. Whatever. With this AI stuff, when I talk to Raul and I look at his net worth and it says $350 million, I'm like, all of crypto is left to buy. No one has any exposure yet. All of crypto is left to buy. Our AI coins is how I felt after that. Like as bullish as humanly possible.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good take. And I think the reason I had an interview with, do you know the WIF guy, Nachi? You know the guy that's number one on Binance leaderboard?
He has 5% of GOAT, doesn't he?
Well, who knows anymore? He didn't make it to the whale chat. Let's put it that way.
Oh, fucking hell.
Anyway, I had an interview with him a couple months ago, and we were talking about meme coins, and we kind of all agreed that like meme coins, if you remember 2023, you remember like when Pepe first started, and then WIF and Mog and all that sort of time, they were hated. Like the NFT crowd hated meme coins, and most of like the rest of crypto also didn't like them. For one reason or another, Pepe was really hated at the start. A lot of people like loved the grave dance on it and all this sort of stuff. And it was only around like late 2023 that suddenly that started to turn, like these started to go slightly higher, and like WIF started to move higher. And then by the start, like let's say the first half of 2024, meme coins went from being really left curve, like if you were trading them you're like crazy, to being a bit more normie, like everyone was getting on board that way. And then towards the end of 2025, that was altcoins.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
You either owned majors or you owned memes.
Yes.
And suddenly they went from being what was a very like obscure bit of the market that was kind of hated to being like every single person owned them. And that is like you said, who's left to buy them? Because liquid token funds weren't coming in to buy them. So what we were hoping is that like the TikTok community would come in and buy them, and we did see that to a certain extent.
They have no money.
Yeah,
no money.
Right. This really, really reminds me of that period in 2023.
Yes.
Where like it started to pick up, and like there's still hate for it, like a lot of hate, like a lot of grave dancing when they go lower, but they rebound crazy, like they rebound like 60% like over the last 2 days.
The Fartcoin bounce was unreal. Come on, unreal.
Fartcoin, all of them have just had like insane bounces, except GOAT. But what it feels to me like you're completely right in that I think it's going to take another 6 to 9 months before this becomes a bit more mainstream, and like all you really own is like these sort of AI coins plus, or some sort of combination of like other crypto narratives plus AI, like this DeFi AI stuff. And we'll see it in gaming, we'll see it in DeepIn, we'll see it in all the other narratives that have crypto. I think we'll have like an AI angle to them, and those will, I think, that'll largely take over some of the altcoin space. So I agree with that too. I think Raul will come in and buy this stuff at some stage.
He has to.
I really do.
No, he will. When he said to me, he said NFTs are bigger than AI. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, you don't really believe that because you're telling me that AI in a couple of years is gonna like change humanity forever. So how can NFTs be bigger than AI? I'm like, you don't really believe that. You just think you believe that.
So what he is completely right about is that when I came on this show last time, we spoke about like Linux, right? Like, and how other people, the people that have built services on top of it had been sold. Like company Red Hat got sold for like 70 billion or whatever it was. And you're starting to see that already. Like you're starting to see Arc and AI16Z and even AIXBT like kind of move into like SaaS style companies on top of this, and that's how they're gonna like make the majority of their money, and then they can have value on the top of it. What is a little bit risky is that like the foundational layer is often built by somebody else. Like we are using LLMs built by people not in crypto, like huge firms, and I know Zero Bro kind of went down the route of trying to create its own like native LLM, but it's very costly to do that. Even to build an open source LLM like Llama is incredibly costly to do that. So I think that is some risk in that, like what he is saying is that we're completely reliant on essentially wrapping up other people's technology and applying it to crypto, and often we're using outdated models. Like most of the bots that we see are using like, they're not even using the current versions of ChatGPT, right? So I think those points are pretty valid in that he's going to see what's going on, let's say from like Google or ChatGPT or Microsoft or whoever, right? And it's going to be or Anthropic, and just say like, well, these guys are 2 models behind, and it's a wrapper. Like, why is that valuable? Which I think is fair, but at the same time, I don't think those firms will ever really venture into crypto. I think this application layer is going to be built by crypto native.
This is the take, by the way.
Yeah, and I think that's where I don't think that's going to change. I think that's going to be something that's persistent with us for a long time. That we are going to be things off the back of it, particularly because I don't see those bigger companies venturing into this space and trying to like build the integrations themselves. They just won't do it. But I think Frank also pushed back a little bit, and like there is also some actual innovation going on here, more than just like using the wrapper. Like the actual ability to build out tech which interacts with Web3 is relatively difficult at times. Particularly with a good UI, UX. Like there's going to be massive first mover advantages for those that do it, and like that is valuable. Like just to say that somebody else could come and do it, like somebody else could come and do Ethereum, right? Like Ethereum's open source as well, but Ethereum managed to build massive value from the network effects that it did. To say that like, oh, just because this sort of stuff is built upon the shoulders of other people's work and that it's open source and there's no moat, like I still think there's some value here. So also I think that doesn't matter here. This is what I said last time as well. Like we are just way too early in that nobody else has really bought into it. Nowhere near enough people have bought into this yet.
Nowhere near.
And it's too early to say it hasn't worked out. If you go through the previous cycles, right? Like we spoke about this on the show, NFTs got to, let's say 50 to 100, roughly, billion. Meme coins peaked a few months ago at around 120 billion. 130 billion. And I don't know how you really value DeFi Summer, because like the coins themselves were terrible, a lot of them. But I would probably put that in like the 100 billion like it got to around that in terms of TVL during DeFi Summer, and that TVL figure slightly changed, but we're still at like 17, 18 billion.
Bro, it's a fucking drop. You were right about I'm not wrong about this. And the two things I fully like, there's a couple angles to this. The first is like, yes, OpenAI and Anthropic and the big guns that are building the actual cutting edge models are way ahead. But you can't like, all right, am I gonna buy calls on Nvidia at like 3 trillion? Like Anson made a tweet and he was like, like what stocks can I buy right now that are building AI? And it's like all these massive $1 trillion companies. Like there's no way to get in. And then the take that I really strongly agree with is the app layer. Like it just like makes the most sense. It's like, yeah, let like as Raul said, let OpenAI go build God, and then we will like proliferate God and tokenize it on chain. Like of course. Like I honestly the one take that I think flipped Raul's mind a little bit is when Frank started talking about character AI. And he was kind of like, okay, yeah, makes sense. Like once we got to like character AI, which is like one of the biggest things in the fucking world right now, it is just a well done wrapper of the latest GPT model. But that's what this thing is gonna look like. And it's gonna happen in crypto, and it's gonna happen on chain, and probably a lot of it's gonna happen on Solana. And honestly, even if this whole thing is a fucking scam and none of it does, it's still going to 100 billion. We're still a 5x from here, right?
That's what I mean.
It would be the greatest scam pump ever if it's just a scam pump.
It's way too early to just dismiss it. Like we're at least like 5x away from it being dismissed, in my opinion. I think the interesting question here, like for people, majority of these people watching this stream, like they're probably a bit more believer, is what you just said. It's like where now, if we break it down into 3 categories, which is the memes, which is like the earlier stuff, which is Goat and Filecoin, the marketplaces, let's say, or infra, which is Virtuals, AI16Z, Arc, maybe a few others, and then it's more the applications. And right now, as I just said, like the memes, they've kind of treaded water. Like Filecoin's kind of where it was a month ago. Goat's obviously gone lower. The marketplaces, there's been some FUD around AI16Z, but like the flywheels are starting to be questioned a little bit with Virtuals even today. And then people are now looking at like, right, well actually maybe the value's in the application. Maybe it's AI XBT. Maybe it's like what they can build off the back of it. And that's why we've seen this resurgence of DeFi AI, right? Like,
which I really like, by the way. Griffin, like I'm in. I hate the name. It should be AI-Fi, but I'm into the sector. The idea of it, I like.
I think the subset bit of it is a bit of a LARP, in my opinion, because I think so many of these firms are actually trying to do that. Like, yeah, everyone's trying to make agents that make you money. Like, I think the fact that Daniel Sester created that like subset was smart, because it basically just pumped the ones that were calling themselves that, because everyone was like, yeah, well, I'm going to buy one of those coins. But actually, I think a lot of like Zero Bro was doing that. AI16Z was originally that, right? Like, so. Yeah. To say that suddenly, we created some subset that the other people weren't doing. They were all doing it. They maybe just weren't doing it with this subset name that all pumped. But what's interesting to see is that now people are going like, well, we pumped the memes and they've kind of gone sideways. We pumped all the marketplaces, the pump funds of agents, and now they're kind of, there's a lot of them that were going sideways. And now it's the applications. It's AI meets metaverse. It's AI meets fucking Whoop bands. It's AI meets like AI meets Bloomberg, and let's see what we can do there. When I came on the show last time, I said, if this is February, Bored Apes hasn't happened yet. It's very likely that one of these applications springs up, and I don't know in which of these things, but that could be the Bored Apes moment where something just goes absolutely insane. And it may be AI XPT, which has had this like massive run, and maybe that terminal like knocks it out of the park, but that is where I think you'll see the huge runners. Well, that's where we're seeing them. And I think the market's telling you that, as we just went through how how we see this working out. The only real world where your point of view and Raul's point of view can kind of converge is some application which the open AIs and Anthropics aren't going to get involved in any sort of way, and it's so maybe that's what you should be looking at a little bit more. So I don't know, making small bets on some of these like DeFi meets AI meets application layer stuff. I think there's a few of them out right now. There's heavy doses of like trust me, bro, like this is going to be huge. There's prime scams in that space, like more than any of the others.
No, I agree.
But,
parallel AI Wayfinder is going to be big.
Yeah, that could be a big one.
You're an investor in that, aren't you?
Maybe it's AI meets gaming. Like maybe we see some
that too.
Crazy gaming application that comes through, which does something like this. That's where I think the market sees the most like upside right now, rather than these marketplaces or even the memes.
I'm excited right now because I was questioning, especially like Monday when I woke up, I think getting wrecked. I'm like, fuck, like did I drink the Kool-Aid too hard? Am I really off here? Like, am I retarded? And I mean this in the most respectful way possible because I really like him. But after I talked to Raul, I'm like, wait, we are so on the money with this. It's not even funny. I thought you did a very good episode with him, by the way. The one where I clipped it, and that's how I eventually got him on. But I don't know. When I talk to him, I'm like, man, we're like, this is actually gonna be. This is the trade of the cycle. It's so obvious. Bored Ape moment hasn't happened yet. No way. AIXBT is big, and it's really. I mean, it's the KOL of the cycle, right? It's got to be the fastest growing account, like maybe ever through CT. It's growing like ridiculous, and it's really, really, really effective. I like it. I tweet at it. I'm like, yo, is GOAT bottomed? And honestly, I almost don't like when a guy like Raul is only able to wrap his head around GOAT, because I'm like, fuck it. I agree, I love GOAT, but it kind of like defeats the purpose of everything else. It's almost like its own separate side coin that's like kind of different from at least the vision that's being sold with the rest of the AI coins. But I understand why he's able to only get GOAT and Farcoin, but they feel like they're their own, like, in their own bubble that's like different from what everything else is. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think he could 100% understand GOAT.
Yeah.
Like, because GOAT is more like the memes, and like you said, it's more like the CryptoPunks, which is kind of what we said early doors, right? But the market wants utility.
Yeah.
But it's very, very clear to me, and I think what Frank got very early on is that like AI was gonna be a utility-based trade, because the people that came in didn't just want to buy memes. They actually, particularly like I think he's seen this more as a clash between meme coins and NFTs in this. And actually what I've found, if you found it too, but like the majority of the meme coin and NFT traders I found faded this.
Hard.
They've started to turn this, but the people buying it were more like the DeFi people, like Taiki came in, right? Like it's people that liked utility and didn't like memes and hadn't bought memes before. Like it's a much broader buyer base. So I think because obviously like he likes the culture side of stuff, I do think he'll probably end up buying GOAT and Fartcoin. But it's clear to me that the broader buyer base is actually in the utility stuff, because they're willing to believe that stuff for a lot longer. I don't know. I had the same takeaway from Frank as Frank from that interview that I did on Friday, and also the one that you did, which is that it just made me think we were early. And I know that sounds like maybe that sounds like I'm just like so lost in the source of it all, but it makes me think that people are not willing to think that this can be a useful sector yet. And I honestly, this is where I kept on getting like why I think the direction is slightly wrong in what you're trying to see as opposing views. You shouldn't be comparing this to WIF or to or to dick bots or anything like that. Like they are very different things to me. You should be comparing this to all the other altcoins, right? Like I've seen more innovation, or at least attempts or belief of innovation in this space than I have seen in the altcoin space for years. Like I've seen a ton of altcoins with dreams and hopes that it might work out. Coins, maybe even more if you include some of the L1s which haven't really got to scale. So yeah, my view is that you're really facing against those altcoins rather than against memes and NFTs. Memes and NFTs, I think, can still do well. Like I think they're actually on parallel.
I agree, by the way. I think that they both do well, but the altcoin comparison is so much better. Also, it's worth paying attention to how angry the timeline gets every time the Frank utters the term open source AGI. People lose it, bro. There's the whole timeline today. Stoic Savage, Cygar, every big hitter is just like, shut the fuck up, Frank, you fucking retard. Like, it's like a visceral reaction to it, dude.
Yeah, open source AGI, I have to say, is a term that grinds like, it even grinded me at the start, because it's like, if the big guys aren't saying they've got AGI, are we really going to get there? But I don't know if you saw, but like Google released some of their AI agent stuff a couple of days ago. I saw like a video of somebody.
Okay, no, I haven't seen it. I should know about that.
Maybe it was OpenAI, and maybe I'm just like so far bullish on this stuff, but the stuff that their AI agents could do, and the stuff that I've seen that people can do kind of already in crypto. I thought the stuff that we could do in crypto was kind of better. Like some of the stuff that the Griffin guy was showing me versus what this was saying. Oh, it can look up stocks for you, and it can like assess their financials. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool, but I wanted to be able to trade off the back of that. I want to be able to like swap between different things, and I kind of get the feeling that there is a chance here that not around some of the other reasoning stuff, but particularly around the integrations into finance, crypto might be at the forefront of some of this stuff. Like crypto, yeah, we might not be building the foundational models, like the reasoning models,
but we don't need to be.
In terms of the actual where it touches finance, I actually think crypto might be just as far ahead, if not further ahead already, than some of these major firms.
That's a takeaway.
Is AI XBT that much worse than some of the other stuff you've seen from these? Like, I know it's not great, I know it's not perfect, but like, show me something from one of the major companies that does that for stocks right now, or even attempts to do something like that for stocks right now. I think where AI meets finance, crypto, I'm not saying it's gonna. Yeah, fuck it. I think it could be. There will be real innovation here. You can see like a neck and neck race where it touches finance, because that's what we do. We're at that level where it touches finance. Yeah, they'll beat you on like PhD like exams at school and maybe like deep maths reasoning, but where it touches finance, that application and maybe like the analysis and evaluation stuff, I actually think crypto is going to build some really cool stuff.
Because when's the last time you needed, on a daily basis, we're doing some deep math reasoning? Like, bro, no, we want the finance. The finance integration is what people give a fuck about, realistically. Like, I don't need it to pass my bar exam.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, when you could argue that stuff is really important for like the singularity and some valid. Huger, bigger, like quantum things that we're trying to solve, let's say. But yeah, don't be surprised if the crypto AI agents, when it comes to finance, actually beat, in my opinion, some of the AI agents that we start to see getting released from these bigger firms. They won't beat it on other stuff, but when it comes to like trading, analysis, I think crypto might actually produce some pretty cool stuff.
I mean, bro, that's a take right there, because that's a I'm in the trenches trying shit type of take as well. That's I've used Griffin AIN, and I know that It's headed in the right direction, dude. It's headed in the right direction.
Well, I don't agree with Frank with like we're going to achieve open source AGI. Is basically what I was trying to say there. But I do think we are going to achieve maybe better levels of AI finance.
And I don't think the
in
take is
crypto.
so much like we're gonna achieve open source AI on Solana, but we are gonna proliferate open source AGI on chain. It's the app layer.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah,
think
it's the app layer, and we're
Shaw is
gonna-
not gonna beat Sam Altman to it, but Shaw is probably gonna do some really fucking cool shit with it that otherwise would not have been done.
Yeah, I think we will be there or thereabouts on the app layer. That's basically where.
Which is
where
what
I'm saying.
matters, man. That's the part that really matters, right?
Yeah, I would argue. If you leave those guys to build like the closed source LLMs, and we deal with like the best way for people to make money off the back of it or do cool stuff, I don't think there's ever going to be a time where Google is focused on how to trade shitcoins for you.
No,
Never. And the only way, also like, the only way that hedge funds are probably going to in TradFi are going to get ahead is a similar sort of way. They'll jailbreak these models, or they'll build their own tech on top of these LLMs themselves, and that'll be like an in-house system. So I think this is the best. You'll probably see the best finance agents will probably come from crypto that you'll be able to access. The best ones in TradFi will probably be owned by Citadel or fucking like one of these huge hedge funds, and they'll just be inside their own company.
Where they're meant to be. This like makes me happy because it took me like 3 months to get here, but I feel like I finally got in here, and I'm like, yeah, like yes, like yes, this is it. It makes sense, and everyone that's like, oh, it's just a GPT wrapper. It's like correct. It's a specialized GPT wrapper that can like complete X task that is immensely valuable to a very rich and specific demographic. Like that's exactly what it is. It's a fucking wrapper, and it's a really cool one, and it can do sick shit. Like I feel like I finally actually got in there mentally, and it feels good.
Yeah, so I think getting there, just the belief is kind of the main thing, and I think people will start to realize that. I do think that because I think there's also there is massive expectation around the agents that these companies are all going to produce, right? Like massive expectation around the agents from Google, from Meta, from Anthropic, and from OpenAI. And if they start to get released and they don't do the cool crypto stuff that we thought they were going to do, I do think there's going to be like, oh shit, like there was some stuff going on here. And then by the time people realize that, I think these coins can gig ascend at that point. That's when you get, oh shit, everyone should own these, because this is actually going to be where the real innovation is on the application layer of AI meets finance.
So good. And where are we? I know this is like a big week macro wise. How are we feeling about BTC and macro right now?
So this was actually a really big week for macro, and obviously you had like a wobble. What we really saw over the last month or so was that the dollar just kept on going higher and bond yields kept on going higher. Normally when that happens, something starts to like break, and you started to see like a little bit of worries around that with, let's say, the UK. There was some worry about China, like getting like deflation on the other side, and this is the sort of environment in 2022 that people started worrying about regional banks, unrealized losses in, well, that was 2023, I forget, yeah, 2023, unrealized losses on banks. When bond yields go this high, people start to freak out about different pockets of stress. And then this week we saw that inflation actually wasn't so bad, both from the PPI and the CPI, and despite everyone thinking that we wouldn't get rate cuts this year, now it looks like we may get rate cuts. So I do think it's Q1 is going to be a period where macro gets in the way of crypto a little bit more. If the second half of last year, in fact, the majority of last year, was a really great macro setup where people were expecting rates to go lower, that money printing might start again, particularly in China, but maybe even in the US. 2025 is setting up to be a little bit more data dependent. Like we might rally in between big data points. But for the rest of this month, we had the jobs figure and we had inflation figures. We can kind of keep rallying and keep gambling until the next like big data figures, which would now probably be next month, and maybe Trump signs a bunch of executive orders. So I think macro is going to be a much bigger figure. Basically, is what I'm saying in the first half of this year. But we've probably got a few weeks until at least 3 weeks to keep gambling before the next big figure comes out.
I'm down for that.
Right. Which is kind of what it was. Like everyone was freaking out, like we couldn't gamble because fucking the dollar's going so high, and everyone's freaking out about Bitcoin. And then now everyone piled back into AI agents the moment the CPI figure basically said that it was cool.
But
you have to be a bit more macro, I think. You have to be a bit more macro, I think, for the first half of this year. Like you saw how much we sold off after that jobs figure, right? Which was Friday last week, and then you saw how much we rebounded off CPI and PPI. So if you're not paying attention to that stuff, which you could largely ignore for the second half of last year,
I kind of pay zero attention to it. I'm just gonna be honest.
Right. Well,
which you probably could have guessed.
Know, like, yeah. You might know when we're gonna like nuke or when there's gonna be risk. When you shouldn't be like massive levered long. Is these macro events are going to have a bigger impact?
Okay. Sure. I don't think anyone was expecting me to hit Raul with some China questions. So.
No, you fought your battle. You fought your battle well, and then you brought in Frank when you needed to.
I know my spots, man. That's one thing about me is I know my spots. This is what I'm curious. He has like a really big audience, by the way. He's massive. I didn't realize he was so big. Who else is like Raul Paul adjacent in this like what would you consider his role? Like he's like macro, like TradFi media, or is he more? I guess he's way more crypto adjacent now. No, did he rug?
You
rug completely. You rug completely. Wait, hold on, are you back? Are you back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost you like when I stopped my question.
So he used to work at Goldman Sachs, and then he worked at GLG, which is like this big UK hedge fund. I actually interned for him at GLG at a random point, or like at some, like very, very, very early. And then he moved into crypto, but not many people do what he's done. Like have gone from TradFi into crypto. There's a few, and you notice them because they're normally tweeting about Fartcoin. Actually, like. There are some like Jim Bianco, I would say, is one of the other like more famous ones. It's kind of dabbled into crypto a little bit, but it's still largely TradFi. I don't know if he'd come on your show. Like he's kind of.
Tell me his name again.
Jim Bianco.
Jim Bianco. Here it is.
Jim Bianco. I followed that guy for many.
Cool.
I followed that guy for many years, and he knows a lot about crypto and DeFi and. Was very bullish on crypto, but like he's been like bear posting Fartcoin all the way up.
I gotta get him on. Yes. I gotta go through the ringer of all the like Raul adjacent.
I would ask Raul. Like Raul would know him very well. Yeah, he would be a great guest. As someone that you like trying to convince to get into crypto, I would say he's a good one. I'm trying to think who's kind of slightly adjacent. Yeah, I can get you a list of like people to convince. For sure. There's definitely some bigger fund managers that like are more macro that have looked at ETH and Solana and might be fun to get on the show. But what I would really look for is like the people that have also hated on Fartcoin that need convincing that this isn't like this is something that could be bigger.
Because if you really think about it, like how could I work for our bags the hardest? Is it's two routes. It's you like snipe down all the I hold Solana but think Fartcoin and AI coins are fucking stupid rabbit hole, like all the macro TradFi boomer guys, and then you go down all the AI founders like Midjourney, Anthropic, Perplexity, and Work to Sand, and you like go very deep down both. And if the trad like AI perplexities of the world are like, oh yeah, fuck, what you guys are doing crypto is really cool, and the boomer macro guys are like, you know what, fuck it, like maybe I will buy some goat. We just start ticking valuations higher, bro. We start dreaming.
There's a guy. I actually think you're right, because I think you can convince a lot of these people to one or the other. There's another guy called Dan Tapiero, who
he follows me.
This guy's a bit more like in crypto. He's like one of the best known macro traders.
Yes.
He'd be a good person to get on. But these people speak very expert levels of macro.
Oh, I'm ready.
So like,
it's gonna be the crossover. I'm ready, baby. You might be my phone a friend over Frank though. That might have to be the.
I can try. These guys are well past me. Like, it would be. These guys are very, very deep in like capital flows, and they'll know everything. But they look at crypto a lot, and they may have seen the foothills of this, and they probably just need to be told by, you know, a Zoomer in LA that they should buy AI bags.
I'm going after Dan Tapiero, and he followed me. I didn't know this guy. I'm going after him first, 100%. This is gonna be. I think this is the sickest rabbit hole you can go down. Because if you start knocking these, and also, man, you know more about it than me. I feel like TradFi, boomer media is like so lame.
Well, if you go through Dan Tapiero's tweets, he's tweeting about XRP, he's tweeting about Sailor, he's talking about Bitcoin DeFi. He's quote tweeted AIXBT. You got to get him on. He's the sort of person that.
I'm bringing him on. I'm coming after him this week. Yes. Yeah. These are the guys I feel like if you can, like, this is how we like. Imagine you capitulate this crowd into AI coins before the NFT meme coin guys capitulate, and it's like, all right, what the fuck are we doing? This is how we start like really believing and dreaming.
And I would also try and get some of the big VC guys. You should definitely try and get the AI16Z guys on. Like that would be
the real A16Z.
Sorry, the real A16Z.
I want to get Mark. I got the follow back from Mark and I DM'd him, but I can't get a response. But I think we could get Mark.
That would be.
We could get him on.
A massive show. Like, obviously he's incredibly smart as well.
I just feel like we could do it.
Some of the top VCs as well, they need some convincing. Like, I forget the podcast. I think it's done on. I forget who it's done, but the Dragonfly team.
Yeah.
You ever seen those guys?
Yeah. The bald guy.
Hasib and Tom Schmidt.
Yeah. Oh, like, Tom Schmidt. I could get to Tom Schmidt.
Like Tom Schmidt's a hater of these coins. I know
is he really?
Well. Like he'd be a good. Well, he's not a hater, but he doesn't believe. He thinks it's all a little bit of a lot too.
Yes,
but like,
yes.
Get some more people like that on who are like really smart and know tech incredibly well.
Yes.
And I think those would be good debates about why they don't like it from a tech standpoint. Like Rouse was one. I don't think he like. It'd be good to get some more tech people like break down why they are or they aren't bullish on this and why maybe they've seen similar industries break like this. But Tom Schmidt definitely was more negative on it versus Hasib, and I think he'd be a good person to get on.
Frank and I were talking about putting like a fucking PowerPoint to having a presentation ready.
Wow, you're gonna do the Big Short? You're gonna go around all the different.
No, man, I'm telling you, I got my fucking.
This is my con. You got Frank in the back.
Dude, I'm going fucking American Sniper, and I'm just sniping them down. And every time, I think it adds 10 bill in potential market cap. Everyone you snipe. Raul was 10 bill. Like, one by fucking one, we're sniping. What about the Bitcoin guys? Would that be interesting for this AI, like Pomp and those guys, or like Dan Held and shit, or like less interesting?
Yeah, I mean, they've hated on a lot of stuff, so I don't know if their trade is so different.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
So different. Like they're just like the world's collapsing. But some of them are interested in AI for sure. So maybe go after them. But I feel like their question would more be like, why would I own this when the world's about to collapse? Whereas I think what you want people to break apart is like, why could this fail from a tech perspective? Is this a lot from a tech perspective? And also, is this is this interesting to macro people who might like see this as another way to invest in AI, except aside from Nvidia, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we need. I'm busy to go find every person that's angry about Fartcoin, and because I was too for a while, but I got my shit together.
But like some of them love it. Like the StockTwit CEO. Did you see his interview the other day?
No, should I stop?
Like the CEO of StockTwits is like all in on Fartcoin, which is like one of the.
Wait, what's
like,
his name? We were talking about him the other day. What's the guy's name?
Oh, I don't know his name, but his I saw an interview with him where he was like, "This is like the asset of the year. Like everyone's got to own it, all this sort of stuff."
Wow.
So, some of them are like fully all in, but didn't Zero Hedge the actual account write a thesis on Fartcoin the other day as well?
I know. Zero Hedge. Let's see. Wow.
Those would be the other people to go after. So like go after like Zero Hedge. What are the other like big
Franklin Templeton just dropped the AI thing.
Yeah, maybe those guys, but it would be more or it'd be more like
Howard Lindzen.
like the
who that is?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of like the big more TradFi meets like retail angles where you could interview them, because some of those people would definitely get involved. Like you try and get Dave Portnoy on.
Oh, we could get to
that'd be a good show.
We could get
to
Dave Portnoy, I think. I mean, fucking
right?
choose
like
Rich Nick.
That's the sort of crowd I'm going for here. Like
yes.
That sort of crowd where.
Man, you might have to be my phone a friend in some of these macro calls though.
With Dave Portnoy, I think you can handle
that one. I can handle that. Portnoy, I can do.
For the macro guys, I can help. I
don't think they're gonna like Frank too much. Yeah, Frank can do Portnoy.
But he's your quant. You gotta have him. This room is perfect. You have him in like on a chair at the back. You just turn around. This is my quant.
The sunglasses on and shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Calling him in yesterday was so funny, bro. I was like, bro, you cool if I had somebody else? He's like, yeah, let me get a fucking drink. I'm like, all right. He had no idea what was coming.
Yeah. No, he was good. He was raring to go though. That was like his moment.
Yeah, he was. Also, Raul was great. Like, he's a good sport.
Yeah, no, he's good. That one liner he did at the end.
Unreal, by the way.
Where he was, yeah. That was actually that was the line of the show. He actually stole it.
How do you make 10 mil this year? He said, start with 100 mil and buy AI coins.
That was good.
I think that these, the Web3 quant, because I think a lot of these it is such a boomer joke. I said in chat. I think a lot of these like TradFi media guys are so boring, dude, that they need some spice, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like they need he's got it about him. You should. I'm trying to think who else you can try and.
By the way, that's his house, dude. That's the most retarded thing I've ever seen in my life. That house. I thought he rented out a bar for the interview.
Yeah, so I think he actually has 2 houses.
You've met him before?
IRL? Yeah, I've met him a few times. Because I do the Real Vision thing, right?
No, I was just curious if you've met him in person.
I've met him a few times. I met him just at these like events, and then me and Obi were like, hey, we want to do a weekly, more like professional style show, and then we decided to do it with him. So then he comes on occasionally to that show. But yeah, he lives in Cayman Islands, but I think he lives on Little Cayman, which is like there's only like 20 houses.
No.
Or something like that. Yeah. There's no cars. It's one of these like I don't know how much that house is worth. It's gonna be a nice house. And he lives his life like Yeah, he's a happy man.
You're back. Yeah, your Wi-Fi is so bad, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely bad. It's hotel Wi-Fi.
Oh, you're in a hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to a couple of guys you mentioned. If you, I'll like shoot you some people and be like, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of this guy? I need some takes, but I'm gonna single-handedly raise the targets on these fucking AI coins, bro. I'm coming for it. I'm gunning for it.
If you get these people as well, this will be big for you, right? Like, these are big people that people have followed for a long, different sort of audience as well. Like if you really want to get the Trump dinner invite for
I gotta get to David
next
Sachs.
time.
I gotta get to David Sachs. Like 10. He's probably like 10 steps away. But I feel like you could snipe your way up to somebody like that.
Yeah, David Sachs, he would be huge. To be fair, like I haven't ever seen him do an interview with any sort of like crypto native publication.
But he's the fucking czar
yeah,
now.
go for it. Go for it. Why not? Like, some people have got to know him.
Because he can't be that far. He can't be that far from Portnoy, who can't be like that far from like Raul. You know what I mean?
Raul is massive.
Yeah, I didn't realize how big he was.
1.1 million. He's huge. His engagement is insane. He has.
It's gonna be my biggest YouTube video ever. My biggest video by far. When it's all said and done.
Yeah, like you only realize it after you have him on shows and stuff. He's like, his pull is absolutely massive. But yeah, Portnoy would be a different sort of audience. I don't think many Portnoy people are listening to Raul.
Yeah. True.
And I don't think, and if you get like Jim Bianco or you get Dan Tapiero, that would be like a different audience as well. And then you got to get one of the big tech people. Like, you've got to get the A16Z founders. You've got to try and get some of these big crypto VC, like more tech-based ones like Dragonfly or some of the others. I think they would be good shows.
Say less. I'm about to send out some DMs after this.
Yeah, I'm mapping out the next 6 months for you.
I love it.
Let's send this space to 100 bill.
These bags are going up one way or a fucking other. Scam pump, real pump. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So is this the new house?
This is the new house, new room. The bed is upstairs.
Okay, this is just your room.
Just my room.
This isn't like some main room.
It's just my room.
Okay, all right. All right, nice. So, this is where the magic's gonna happen for the next couple of years.
This is the Vape Cabal. Hey, Rose, the Vape Cabal. He's fucking blowing clouds on the stream. You saw that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, big smoker.
Legend.
Honestly, yeah, some of these like ultra. Yeah, and then you got to get Sailor. I guess Sailor's the.
That's like the LeBron James of Raul Pals.
Yeah, I think that show is going to be interesting. I'm still unsure about Sailor. Like, I love him as a person, but I do think he's gonna blow himself up at some stage.
Probably.
Like,
we get to Sailor this year. I get to Sailor this year, 100%.
Sailor would be a huge one as well. But he's not going to want to hear about AI coins.
No. I'll save the shit for that.
Do you even own any Bitcoin?
Fuck, dude. This is a live stream, bro. This is live. Hey,
Brother,
I have 12 Bitcoin puppets. I have 12 Bitcoin puppets.
Okay.
It's like, hey, it's the Raul clip. It's like in a bull market, why hold Bitcoin when you can hold alts in a bear market? Why hold Bitcoin? You want stables? I hold puppets in a bull market.
I cannot wait for the moment where you tell Michael Saylor that you own Bitcoin puppets instead of Bitcoin.
It's like the Scottie Pippen clip where he's like, yeah, I met Satoshi back in '93.
Yeah.
And he's like, what, bro?
Yo, what?
I feel like you could get Sailor. Why haven't you had Sailor on?
Yeah, I actually never reached out to him. The thing is, people think Sailor's been around forever, right? Sailor's 2020.
Really?
Sailor bought his first Bitcoin in 2020.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude.
What?
Look at where MicroStrategy made their first Bitcoin purchase. Yeah, dude. This is the thing. People think that he's like some. He's saved this company for many years. He's actually only kind of done one cycle of this. Like, he can still blow up. Like, it's not like he's like multi-cycled this like we're gonna buy as much Bitcoin as possible on leverage. Like, he first bought Bitcoin. He's really come into being a bigger figure in crypto over the last couple of years.
I'm obsessed with him. Are you sitting in one chair? So good.
Right. and now he's huge.
Yeah.
But give it a cycle or two, and if he owns like 5% Bitcoin all on leverage, like that's a dangerous trade.
That's a dangerous trade. Yeah, it better go up
for us all.
I'm not gonna, someone said this. I don't think this entire Twitch chat owns 1 Bitcoin cumulatively.
I know this is not a Bitcoin chat.
No.
To be fair, like you shouldn't own Bitcoin. If you're trying to 100x your, well, you should always try and own Bitcoin. But if you're here to try and fucking degen your way to 100x, like you're not going to do it on Bitcoin unless you have massive fucking size.
AI crypto.
It feels as though AI crypto is the easiest place to try and. I mean, it was up 60% since in 48 hours. So it feels like that's the space to be in.
Mando, you're the GOAT. I'm gonna DM you some names and let's yeah. I need you as my quant, bro. You and Frank, we strong arm this shit.
All right. Sorry about my internet.
Nah, you're the GOAT. It wasn't that bad. Yeah. Do better next time, please.
All right.
All right, bro. Peace.
Bye, man.
Yeah, I fucking love Mando. Hey, chat. That's the birthday stream, bro. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the Lakers game. Hey, what do you think, by the way, into this new wave? Do you want me to go after all those fucking TradFi guys? Because I'm going for them. I'm going for all the TradFi guys. Who's next? I'm gonna tell you who's next right now. You wanna know who's next? Dan Tapiero is next. Dan Tapiero is next, chat. Dan fucking Tapiero. Hey, is Elliot or Pasta here? Is Elliot or Pasta here? Damn, why do I look so white right now? All right, all I want to say, Dan Tapiero, I don't know if we've met before or you follow me on Twitter. I'm Thread Guy. This is my formal invitation. Get your ass on stream. Let's talk about everything macro, TradFi, most importantly, RAI coins, Farcoin. You're tweeting about it. I want to talk about it. Every day, 2 p.m. PST, we're live. Get your ass on the stream. Let's fucking rip it, baby. I'm wrecking this motherfucker. Birthday, first stream in the new house. It's a fucking movie. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Catch you. See you when I see you. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.